Welcome to Living Practice, the podcast where we explore curiosity, creativity, and spirituality in all the ways they intersect. My name is Ricky Horvatic. I am your host. You may know me across the internet as Starmoth Press. And today I want to talk about the many creative passions that we all have. Since this is the summer that I'm challenging myself to get out of my comfort zone, I'd like to invite all of you to my Ko-Fi shop. And if you find me there under Starmoth Press, I have art for sale. I have my book, Grace in Every Moment, for sale. I have tarot, art, and zine readings for sale. And I have the mail club, which is available. It started as an experiment in caring. It has now morphed into a regular mail club where you receive an original artwork, a zine, and a newly designed sticker by yours truly for just $11 a month. It's open domestic and internationally and is sent via standard letter mail. I hope that you guys join us over there. It is a fun little experiment and I really enjoy it. I'm recording this today while I am waiting for my kids to finish swim lessons, and I'm joined by my co-host Olive, the poodle who I am dog sitting. She is sitting in the car with me. Just wanted to let you guys know that in case you hear her making any noise. She is happy to be here also. I wanted to share a bit of my own history and how I got reacquainted with my creative practice after getting sober in the year 2017. My sober birthday is December 11th, and December 11th, 2017 was my first sober day, and I have been sober ever since. And it was a couple years. I got pregnant shortly after that. And so, I was really busy getting pregnant and getting married and then getting pregnant again. And it wasn't until my second pregnancy towards the end where I had basically been in like zombie mode, mom mode, zombie mode. Like whenever my kid was asleep, I was just like watching TV. I wasn't really doing anything, wasn't really feeling anything. My husband made this like brilliant suggestion that for some reason hadn't occurred to me at all. And that was to get a hobby. And it was crazy to me at the time. This was the end of 2019 because she was born right at the beginning of the pandemic. And I kind of flirted around with a few different hobbies, and I ended up falling in love with knitting and crochet. And I needed something that was tactile, that I could pick up with my hands, that I could set down easily. As my son was turning into a toddler, he was going to have his first birthday, and my life was about to get way crazier. Or no, he had just had his first birthday. Oh, I had 2 kids under 2 at the same time. It was all very much a blur. I feel like I'm just starting to come out of it now. Anyways, I needed something that kind of like tethered me to the earth, that kept me going, because like it's easy to invest our identity in motherhood or parenthood, and I really didn't want to do that, especially as a stay-at-home mom who's newly sober, who doesn't have a lot of friends because we're newly sober. And we had moved around a lot because of my husband's job. So it just felt really important that I have things for myself. So I fell in love with knitting and crochet. And I fell in pretty much like a 2-year hyperfixation where I was just constantly making stuff because it was what I had to do for myself. And it was exciting to challenge myself and to push myself. And so I was making things constantly. But I was also getting to the point towards the end of that where I was starting to not feel as inspired. And then I fell into a depression because I had instead of wrapping my identity up with parenthood, I'd kind of wrapped my identity up with being a fiber artist. And what happens when we have our identity wrapped up in something that is outside of ourselves? We feel very shaken when anything changes, or when the inspiration doesn't flow, or when we feel disconnected from that thing. All of a sudden, we don't know who we are. We're out here floating in the universe and feel really untethered. And that's kind of how I felt. And that's when I discovered art journaling. Well, I started off with creative journaling with stickers and like planning and stationery. It slowly turned into junk journaling and then art journaling, and then art journaling turned into creating collages in my own artwork. And all of a sudden I had this like thriving, multifaceted art practice, and I still was making fiber art, but that was the thing that I did when I wanted to relax and like shut my brain off. I could like watch a movie, and I could crochet, and I could make gifts for people. It was no longer something I was trying to monetize, which was huge. I had tried to monetize it previously, and that did not work. It also made it feel less fun, which is something I think we could all remember, that everything doesn't have to be monetized. I also found myself feeling called to try to write again, but I didn't really know how to do that. And developing this, like all these different sides of a creative practice, really helped me step back into how to be a writer, how to be a person who writes every day. And I'm still getting reacquainted with my voice as a fiction writer. So I think it's important to remember that, you know, we're all doing the best that we can. And it's easy for social media to make us feel like we need to pick one thing and stay in our lane. I've definitely done that. When I wrote a post recently about being addicted to social media, being addicted to Instagram, I deleted my Instagram. I had 5,000 followers. I had built that account from 2019 until whenever it was I deleted it. It might have been this year or last year. I don't remember. I deleted it, and I lost 5,000 followers, and it's not necessarily the number, because I know those aren't all people who are interacting with my content. That's not the point. I lost people that I had connected with. I lost that archive of work. There was some stuff I deleted off of my phone, and I really let the algorithm win at that point, in my view. Instead of reclaiming my identity as a multi-passionate creative, somebody who has a lot of different interests, and not all of them have to do with output, and not all of them need to be shared on social media. Instead of allowing myself that grace, I fell into the trap of calling it an addiction, which I do think that plays a part. But I fell into that trap, and I deleted something that honestly helped me stay connected to the world when I live in a small town and I don't have a lot of people who have the same interests as me that I can connect to. I'm not saying that social media is the thing that is going to save us. That's not what I'm saying. But I think that it's important to remember that we can let social media dictate our lives by thinking that we need to pick one thing, and by thinking that we need to go all in or all out. That's some black or white thinking that we don't need. We don't need to live in the duality. We need to get out of binary thinking, get out of this idea that it has to be this or that, and start inhabiting the middle zone or the gray area. Remember that it's okay that we use the tool of social media to connect with people. It's okay to use it to like build a business or to share our creative work if that's what's important to us. And it is especially okay to turn that off, set it down, and go live your real life. Go live that analog life. This all or nothing attitude, which I think can be important for people if they struggle with the addiction factor. The time I took away from social media definitely helped me. But I also think that, you know, this all or nothing thinking like can lead to stuff that we end up regretting. We have to get comfortable dancing at the edge and be comfortable with being in the middle area where things aren't always clear. We don't have to make any declarations, and we don't have to choose one thing or the other. We can choose whatever it is that we want to do with our time. We can choose to share what it is that we want to share, and we can choose to make whatever it is we want to make. I know, this is a little bit rambly, I know that if you decide to share, whatever it is that excites you in that moment, you're probably not going to get pushed by, quote unquote, the algorithm on whatever platform you're on. And I'm asking you to just do it anyways. Just share what you want anyways. I think that it's easy to feel like we need to divide ourselves up into these different parts. I actually have 3 Instagram accounts because I feel like I can't share everything on one. And I'm currently working through that. This is something I'm working through in real time, so I'm not asking you to do this alone. It's uncomfortable for me as well. And it really just comes down to the idea that we feel like we need to be presented in these perfect little packages. And being a creative person invites us to play with our identity more and to be comfortable. That would be Olive. And to be comfortable with being outside of that picture perfect, feed ready, algorithm pleasing self that we try to present, even if we're not doing it consciously. That's it for this week's episode. I'm sorry it was kind of a rambling rant session, but that's kind of what's been on my mind. This month's sticker for Mail Club is a collage that says resist the algorithm, and on the bottom it says wake up. I shared it recently on my Instagram feed. Very excited to get the stickers in. I'm ordering them today. So go over to Ko-Fi and check out the Mail Club, check out the shop, order a tarot reading, and get your own custom artwork along with it if you feel called to. If not, send me a message via email at starmothpress@gmail.com if you want to connect in some way, if you have any questions. And also, feel free to send me a DM. This has been Living Practice. I'm your host, Ricky Horvatic. You can find me in all the places at Star Moth Press, and I hope that you go make something today.